Diaries of a Madman. Written by What Must I Do? Chapter 6. Horsing Around, Part 1. I don't know how long I was out, but I'm pretty sure I was the first one awake. And I woke up very, very pissed. Why? When Twilight and I were alive and victorious, I was a fucking pony. Oh, I'm gonna beat somebody to death for this. Or rather, I thought nastily, trample them to death. I don't know what the hell Trixie's spell was supposed to do, but it completely screwed everything up. Twilight, I saw, or at least what I thought was Twilight, was now a human. A very cute, nerdy, naked human. Somewhat disturbingly, she still had a horn. Her hair was the same color as her mane, which I thought was a nice touch. All of my clothes were completely destroyed, including my now worthless shoes. My cloak was fine at least, and somehow I had fucking wings, so I wasn't turned into a pony, I guessed, but rather a Pegasus. I swore that as soon as I got back to civilization and Twilight could get a letter to Celestia or Luna, that would change. Of Trixie, there was no sign. She was just completely gone. There were a few shards of something on the ground, but that was it. And when I cast my eyes around again, I noticed something very strange. Some of the stone in the castle was on fire. It didn't seem to be spreading to the ground we were on, so I didn't think it would be too problematic for us. I shakily stood on my new legs and tried walking around. It wasn't that hard, but it was a bit annoying, as I had to concentrate to not try to stand on just two. I also kept misjudging distances since my eyes were in very different places. Once I got the hang of simple movement, I tried prodding Twilight with one of my hooves. I looked over to where Trixie had been, but decided not to go looking for her without Twilight's help. I was about to prod Twilight again, but she suddenly stirred, so I stayed my hoof. When she tried to rub her head, she quickly opened her eyes, shouting in surprise. She leaned up, and I swear to God, I tried not to look, but damn, those were some nice titties. I remembered that she wasn't wearing any clothing when she transformed, aside from the cloak that was now too small for her. When I was able to drag my eyes away from a pleasant sight I hadn't seen in a good long while, I saw her eyes were purple. She looked over at me and hesitantly asked, "Navarone?" "Guilty as charged, sadly," I answered, slumping my shoulders. What happened?" I could only shrug to that, because I had no fucking clue. I don't know what Trixie was trying to cast, but it definitely didn't work. What happened to her? I don't know. All that's left is a few shards of whatever that stuff is. After feeling a spell like that, there's no telling where she could have gone. If she even exists anymore. Then, should we go look around? I asked. I mean, the fucking stone itself is on fire. I'm not sure staying around would be wise. What? I nodded towards the wall near us. Twilight slowly turned that way and gasped. Sweet Celestia! That's actually not that implausible. Huh. It's probably not safe to go inside right now, though. Especially without my magic. You have a horn. You can't cast anything? She shook her head, though she used one of her new hands to feel the pointy thing on her head. After such a large magical disaster, it's dangerous to cast any spells around here. It will be for some time, too. So what? We're stuck like this. How far do we need to go back before you can turn us back? I can't. I have no idea how to fix this. At the look on my face, she hastily added, But Princess Celestia will know for sure. If not her, I'm sure Princess Luna will. God, I fucking hope so. I could not live in this shitty body. My mind was still reeling at the sudden transformation. I felt stronger, for one. And I really felt like I could run a whole lot faster. I was a sleek white Pegasus with a dark brown mane, fitting my looks as a human, I suppose. It's not that bad. If it makes you feel any better, you're definitely quite handsome. It doesn't. But to return the favor, either you're really cute, or I've just been away from other humans for too long. Thanks, I think. So, what the hell do we do? I asked, my eyes once more going to her nice and perky nipples.
Get back to Bonnyville and write Princess Celestia a letter, and hope she can fix this. I still have my horn, so I can probably do magic, but I have no idea where to even look to find a spell to fix this.
She waved her arm over us, encompassing us both. Then she suddenly shivered, realizing how nippy it was out.
Oh, this is so cold. No wonder you always wear clothes.
With that, she sadly covered herself with my old cloak. Since we decided to leave, I offered her a hoof to help her stand. She looked at it and grabbed it, pulling herself up to stand on two legs. She was very wobbly, and had to hold my hand on my back to steady herself as we walked to my ruined clothes. "Can you go through my pockets and grab everything?" I asked. "I would, but..." I sighed, looking at my hooves. Damn it, those were my only pair of jeans. She did so, frowning at some of what she spilled out.
Why are you still carrying these gloves?
She asked. "I worked on a farm for a while. You never know when you might need gloves." I kept the commentary going as she pulled out more stuff. "That's a lighter. You saw me use it earlier on Trixie. That's a knife. Used to cut a number of things in its long life. That's a flask of spirits from Applejack. Be careful with that. We might need it again." When I explained that one to her, she looked at me oddly.
Spirits? This is the same stuff you gave Rainbow Dash?
At my nod, she eagerly opened the bottle and, before I could stop her, drained half of the remaining stuff before recoiling so badly I thought she was going to drop the bottle.
How on Acacia can you drink that stuff? It's absolutely disgusting.
"Because," I said through a grimace, "by the time you drink as much as you did, you usually don't care about the taste anymore. Close that thing up and don't waste any more. God, what came over you?"
Rainbow Dash told me about the experiment in exchange for enchanting something for her a while back.
I snorted at that, thinking of the slap Dash used on me in her house.
I always wondered after that what some of this stuff would be like. If it's anything like that, I don't know how you got Rainbow Dash to drink it.
Well, we used better distillation methods when we made it the first time. It tasted a lot better.
If you say so. Is there anything else you want from this pile?
Grab your old cloak. If we're going back into town, we're probably going to want to hide my blank flank. She nodded, throwing the cloak from the ground onto my back.
Anything else?
She finally asked. "Is my belt any good? I'm not about to leave one of my final remaining ties to humanity behind." Turns out that somehow it was. I don't know how it didn't break like everything else, but Twilight looped it around her cloaked form and cinched it tight. She gingerly picked up the crossbow and the quiver of remaining bolts. She looked at them oddly before hanging them both over my neck.
I don't think I could use something like that if I wanted to.
She whispered, then looked at what was left of Trixie. She shuddered, but a thoughtful look came to her face. She pulled me over to where the fragments are to look them over.
Huh. Alicorn?
She mused aloud, bending down to grab it.
I've never been able to do studies on that.
That said, and her excitement made clear, she bent down and grabbed the fragments before dropping them into a pocket of the cloak. "So, what now?" I asked as she straightened.
I would like to search the rest of the castle to see what Trixie left behind, but...
We both looked over to the main entrance to see that the fire was spreading.
That would be a bad idea. We really should get out of here before it's too late.
Agreed, I said with a nod, turning to the castle gates. That presented us with a new problem. The portcullises were still down, lowered by Trixie and never pulled back up. Thankfully, that was fairly easily remedied. The gear to raise them both was right next to the large gatehouse. Since it was made for ponies, I was easily able to turn it until both were fully raised. As we left, another problem popped up. Twilight had no shoes. She suffered in silence for a minute before she stepped on a thorn in the grass. After that, she was riding on my back. She folded the cloak that I didn't really need into some manner of blanket, or something to cushion some of the pain of riding, but I knew she would still be feeling plenty on the long walk home. "You know," I said while plodding along, "this is going to be very awkward to explain to your friends. They're going to be laughing at us for quite a while when they see us."
At me, maybe. They'll probably be too busy blushing at you to laugh.
Don't even start. God, I can't wait to turn back.
Who knows? Maybe you'll find you like being a Pegasus.
she said, patting my back. I don't have thumbs, and I don't have any magic to use instead.
Thousands have gone by before without them. I don't see why you should be any different.
Because I would know what I was missing. And what about you? Maybe you decide you like being a human.
Is that a hint of a blush I see?
She coyly replied, bending over to get a peek at my cheeks. No, I stammered. This fur, it's just hot. I don't know how you ponies stand it.
Right. And if I do this?
I looked back and saw that she let the cloak drop a little. I turned beet red and stumbled, causing her to almost lose her balance. She just laughed. You're drunk, I accused. And let's see how you'd react to being in your prime as the only member of your species when suddenly you found someone of the opposite sex there.
I'd like to think that I would handle it better than you are.
Yeah, but he sure as hell wouldn't. She left at that too. I was tempted to accidentally drop her, but I knew that would only make it worse. A few hours later, she said,
He could just sneak in under the cover of darkness and get Spike to send a letter to Celestia. He wouldn't tell any pony if we asked him not to.
Nay, I said, and her come out very elongated, causing me to blush again. No. I tried again. We don't want to risk her taking too long to respond and having your friends rush off to your rescue. They'd be pretty upset if they ran that far just to find some smoldering ruins.
Yeah.
We made a camp about halfway there. My back was unused to carrying the burden of a person and her body was unused to riding, so it was a mutual agreement. She had considerably fewer reservations than I did about cuddling to keep warm. I did my best to pretend not to notice it, and we had decidedly mixed results. A few hours into the next day, we started testing her fingers out. Twilight, what are you doing? I asked as I felt her fingers in my mane.
I just noticed how much I can feel with these things,
she merrily said, gently scratching the back of my head. Yeah, fingers have a lot of nerve receptors. Do your best not to hurt them, because any cuts there really hurt. Her fingers moved up to my ears and started scratching those. I lowered my head to try to get away from her questing fingers. Stop it! She pulled her hands back.
Does that hurt?
She asked. No, it feels good, I said, bringing my head back up. My hands went right back to my ears, scratching them gently. Quit it!
Why if it feels good?
She asked. Because I don't like it, I finally managed to say.
You don't like things that feel good?
She asked, not stopping. It's demeaning.
You do it to us all the time, and it's just me and you here, Nav. No pony's judging you.
If I knew how to use this body, I would buck you off right now. I settled for lowering my head as far as I could. Even my ears flattened against me somehow. She leaned over and continued.
You're just giving me more service and area to work with, Nav.
She giggled. I don't like being touched, damn it. I finally yelled. And if you don't knock it off, you can walk the rest of the way back. She finally relented, pulling her hands back.
You don't like being touched?
She asked.
Why not?
How do you explain a phobia? Or something that just doesn't feel right? It's impossible. All that matters is that I don't like it.
But I'm sitting on you right now. Doesn't that bother you?
Not really. It's like wearing a backpack. It's just different.
Why haven't you mentioned it before? I know some of us have touched you in the past. Pinky definitely likes her hugs.
They were fleeting touches, nothing lasting. And none of you ever had fingers until now, so they felt less like touches. Usually it's just something I deal with or get the other person to stop on my own. You're the only person I've ever told, and the only reason I told you is because there's not really much I can do to stop you. I sighed. And now Pinky's gonna be touching me every time she sees me. Fuck.
The only way they'll know is if I tell them, and why would I do that?
I don't know why you would. I just know that you probably will. At least when I'm human again. I can stop her.
After so long? You trust me so little?
She asked, sounding hurt.
I can keep a secret, Nav.
Yeah, you can. But will you? I suppose time will tell. We walked in silence for a few moments. Finally, she spoke up.
You know the best way to get rid of phobia is to confront it.
She gently put her hands to the side of my neck. I don't want to get rid of it. Take your hands off of me.
Oh, come on. I'll be gentle. I promise.
How about this? You take your hands off me and you can continue riding on me.
I just want to help you. How's that so bad?
Because it's something I don't like. Drop it in your hands while you're at it.
Why are you so difficult, Nav?
She let me go again, though. We walked in silence for a bit longer.
I don't think you would make me walk.
She finally said.
You know what it's like walking barefoot far more than I do, and you've already carried me this far. I think you'd sympathize enough to carry me the rest of the way, especially if either way I can touch you.
You know I don't like being touched. You know this, because I told you, and yet you still seem so adamant about touching me. What kind of friend does that? She was silent for a little while.
You feel nice.
She finally answered. Well, save it until we get to Ponyville. We can pet Pinky all day. Her fluffy hair is really soft. She decided to try a different tactic.
How do you ever plan on getting a special sun pony if you're afraid of being touched?
I don't.
What?
I think she was surprised at my answer. Twilight, I thought we had been over this. The thought of sex with a pony almost makes me sick. I might be able to fall in love with one, but taking it further would be difficult. I think it would be hard-pressed to find a chick that doesn't want any sex at all.
Oh, right. The whole bestiality thing. You know we're not animals, right?
We've had this conversation before. My position hasn't changed. Though to be quite honest, I knew very well it might in the future. After so long, well, there's no telling what might happen to change my mind. She sighed. We walked in silence for a bit longer. After that, she let out a frustrated groan.
I just got these fingers, Nav. Everything feels so wonderful. Can I please just stroke you?
I felt my body stiffen before I realized what she meant. I growled slightly, but stopped after a moment, sighing. If you stop when I tell you to stop, okay. I'm going to regret this. She giggled with glee and began toying with my hair again. I dealt with it as well as I could. Then her hands moved down to the sides of my neck and then under my neck. One of her hands went to scratch me under the chin while the other reached lower. I don't know what she was doing, but my mind felt clouded when her hand started scratching my chin. I didn't notice where the other hand was until I felt her somehow rubbing my belly. I stiffened up immediately. Enough, I told her. She kept going. Twilight, stop it. She flinched and pulled both hands back quickly.
What?
That's enough, I quickly answered. If you start doing that again, keep it at my back and neck.
Don't you want to know what belly rubs feel like? You know how much every pony likes them.
Abso-fucking-lutely not. You start touching me down there and I'll tell everyone you're molesting me.
What?
Joking, I replied with a smile. But seriously, you start reaching down there and I'll kick you.
You're so difficult.
Yeah, isn't it great? Don't worry about it too much, though. It won't matter all at once. Celestia turns us back. Thank God, too. Being a pony sucks.
But you haven't even experienced any of it yet.
Nor do I really want to. I know you know how odd it feels for you being a human when you used to be a pony body. I feel entirely wrong like this.
Well, yeah. Your eyes are all beady and in the wrong places, but don't you want to fly?
Hell no. Fuck heights. I really just turned back immediately. She groaned again.
Are you really gonna let your fears conquer you like this, Nav? I thought you were stronger than this.
Then I guess you thought wrong. No reason to conquer a fear since I won't ever have to face it. Once I get turned back, flying will almost definitely be a non-issue.
Why do you have to be so... A
fitting description at times, I suppose. Most of the rest of the walk back was in silence, until we got within view of Applejack's ranch. We decided we might as well get it over with and walked or rode down to meet her. Applejack did not know what to think of us when we found her. She looked at me and said, "Twilight?"
Up here.
She answered from atop my back.
Navarone?
Applejack slowly asked, looking back at me. The same. I almost thought she was going to dispute it before she said,
I really hope y'all put a hurting on Trixie for doing that to you.
I don't think she'll be bothering us again, I replied. Applejack had no idea how to respond to that, so Twilight said,
We didn't actually know how we should go about approaching the town. There will be some confusion, I believe.
I'll say, Applejack answered before going silent for a moment.
Why not just wait until the dark, wrap that cloak around you, and saunter in like you own the place? That was our plan, but we also didn't want all of you to go rushing off to rescue us, in case Celestia couldn't change us back right away,
Twilight said.
Navarone here thought the first thing you would do upon seeing us would be to rush off to tell the rest of our friends they could see us before we changed. I told him you were more loyal than that.
Now, in my defense, I said, that isn't exactly how I put it.
Well, now, y'all know Rainbow Dash is the loyal one,
Applejack said with a smirk. I felt Twilight slump before Applejack ran off snickering. Damn it, I told you, I said as she disappeared. Twilight and I both sighed. Well, nothing for it now, I said, beginning to walk into town. Man, it's only chapter 6 and our boy got changed already into a pony. Hopefully, he can swap back real quick. Also, I'm putting the bloopy here, but Navarone's a dog. Navarone's a dog. That man's an animal. I almost failed recording both of those lines. No matter. He's got character. We'll leave it at that. Who else have character, however, on my wonderful Patreons? Thank you, Squall, Windfeather, Rainflicker, Starlight Blaze, Hyperleague, Redeemer of Dark, Dreamless Portal, and the 8th Day of Night. My Tier 2, Chase Lemaster, Sword Brother and Mordred, Danish Dash, Night and Game, Digimax 2000, Endless, Solus, RD Bryant, Captain Blue Shadow, Nocturne, HKH4AK Texture, The Animated Ghost, Can Panzer, and my Titan tiers, Dark Guardian, Maverick, and the requester of this series, Silent Titan. I appreciate your guys' support so much and it means a ton to me. That aside, however, this has been Firehearth. Have a wonderful day. So, what the hell do we do? I asked, my eyes once more to a nice perky. Fucking hell. This dog. Oh, Christ. Alright, back to it.